Let's talk a little bit about the starting pitchers here. How do you kind of feel? I mean, they got some guys that are hopefully coming back from injury. They got some movement kind of happening there. How do you feel that group is shaping up, and are they in a spot too? I feel bad for them because it also feels like you got to press them more than maybe you'd want to because you're afraid of going to the pen. Like you're asking them to empty the tank a lot of the times more than kind of what you would normally want.
Yes.
By necessity, by pure necessity. But that's kind of the pickle that the D-backs find themselves in right now.
Eduardo Rodriguez is on his way back. That's the biggest question. What is the starting five going to look like? I mean, Zach Gallen, there's a lot of questions surrounding him, but he's not going anywhere. He's in a contract here. If anybody believes in him more than Toy Lavello, I'd like to meet him. But it's one of those things where Eduardo Rodriguez is on his way back. Toy Lavello said something about Jordan Montgomery. He said it doesn't really matter implied it about him. It doesn't really matter about how much money you make. Whoever is pitching the best for this team is going to get those opportunities. I'd like for him to keep that same energy with Eduardo Rodriguez and Ryan Nelson, because if Eduardo Rodriguez comes back and gets the starting position, which I truly think he will, over Ryan Nelson, I just think that's how they're going to operate. Then you have to kind of look back and say, well, what was that all about? Because if Jordan Montgomery was in the starting rotation and he didn't look good and you took him out, Eduardo Rodriguez shouldn't be, put on this pedestal as anything different. Erod's a great guy, great pitcher. I know his floor and his ceiling, and he deserves a little bit more credit because he's a great pitcher with great stuff. He just has not looked good for the Diamondbacks. With that being said, Ryan Nelson, I mean, Erod's 1-3 with a 7.05 ERA and 44, pretty much 45 innings pitched. Ryan Nelson 2-1, 3.79 ERA and 38 innings pitched. Ryan Nelson just before his last outing before Pittsburgh, LA went 5 innings and only gave up 1 run against the Dodgers. I mean, Ryan Nelson is just one of those guys where he's shown, I want the ball in my hands. I'm making the most of my opportunities. It would be incredible if they don't have a conversation when Erod comes back and goes, guys, maybe you run a 6-man rotation. That could be a possible thing, but they also haven't let Ryan go deep into these outings. Eduardo hasn't shown that he can go deep into any games this season, but they feel like he can. It's going to be a long thing. I will say this about Ryan Nelson. I have a funny story about Ryan Nelson.
Let's hear it.
My dad and I went to Petco Park for the very first time. September 5th, 2022. It was the MLB debut of Ryan Nelson.
Okay.
I had no idea. We just went there. We go, oh my God, Dad, we're going. Oh, this is great. He pitched 7 innings, shutout, looked like one of the gnarliest. We were on cloud 9, beat the Padres 5-0. As I walked to the back, my dad and I were walking to the side. Alec Thomas, Corbin Carroll, and Stone Garrett, who's not a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks anymore, but they all came by and we were standing by and they talked to my dad and I for a little while and they expressed how much that win meant to them because they grew up with Ryan. All their families came out on the field and Ryan Nelson grew up with this team. A lot of these guys grew up in AAA in Reno. And so it's different. Ryan not only deserves this opportunity, but he's shown time and time after again that he believes in his organization, believes in his friends around him, and believes in the coaching. So I truly think Ryan Nelson deserves at least the conversation for when Eduardo Rodriguez comes back. And if they go with Erod, sure, I understand. You got to give Erod maybe 2-3 more starts. But if he doesn't come back and look lights out, I think it's Ryan's job for the taking.